All right, hello, this is Wmpyr here to explain to you guys some stuff, some very, very important stuff using these new pictures that I got recently with my student. So first off, right here you can see my student has a stick and I have a knife. My right hand is holding the knife. It's kind of blurry because this is um, it was kind of action packed. So it was pretty fast. So that's why the photos came out this way. But anyway, what I'm trying to explain to you guys here is that even if you have a weapon with a longer reach, right? If you don't use that reach advantage, if you don't use it properly, then it's meaningless. And what happened here was I took the stick with my left hand and I took away the distance. So at this point, even though the stick is longer than the knife, it doesn't matter. The reach advantage is gone. It's voided because I was able to close the distance. And after this photo, I get closer and closer and closer. So that is the idea there for someone with a shorter weapon. Obviously, you want to close the distance in and take away the reach advantage. So there is a proper way to fight when you have the reach advantage. And this is not one of them. Okay. So I was just trying to demonstrate this to my student because my student was thinking, well, why I could hit you with a stick. And I told him the moment you try to do that, you are losing your reach advantage, your distance, and I am able to close in on you. And that is what I was doing here. And I know that's very difficult to understand because you're going, well, I have a stick, I could hit you with that. But if you don't use it in a way that creates distance, because most of the time when you attack, you have to step forward. And if you're stepping in to hit me, well, that's what I want. I want the distance to be gone. So if you step in and I step in, that's the fastest way for the distance to disappear. It's faster than even just me moving in because you're also moving in. And it's just going to take me to where I want. Now, of course, I have to defend against your stick attack, but you're also going to have to defend against my knife attack. So that's where it becomes very, very dangerous for both of us. But then your reach advantage is gone now. So you're fighting as if you had a knife as well here. It's almost like it's knife versus knife. And that's what this is right here. This next photo, this is knife versus knife. And basically, if you do knife boxing, and if the other guy has a knife and they're also willing to attack you, you're both attacking each other, you're both going to end up severely cut, severely injured, or both of you can possibly die. So this is exactly what we're trying to avoid. So I know I've taught knife boxing and I still teach it. And I know knife boxing is extremely popular today. But the usage of knife boxing is very, very limited. And if you're military, it makes sense because knife boxing shines best if for some reason you're out of ammo or something and you're stranded out there. Okay, you do knife boxing onto your opponent, and your opponent is unaware, they're not ready for you, they don't have their knife out yet, their gun's not ready to be fired, and you're just going to attack them with a knife. So it's a very limited usage, and in that situation you're going to have a huge advantage. And that's what knife boxing does for you. But that is a very, very specific situation for military. I mean, it's an assault. It is a horrible assault, and that is what you're doing there. Okay, that is I can't see that for self-defense. Okay. Now next is this right here. So this is my answer. Is I tell you guys is don't engage. We don't want to do this. All right. You see the distance. This only takes a split second and we're both destroying each other. So what you want is this, to keep the distance right here. So I have the knife, he has a bag. It's the bag shield. So use the bag shield, and I know a lot of people probably going to misunderstand this. They're going to think, oh yeah, I could use the bag shield and then I could come in. No, that's not the way we use it. We're using the bag shield as a secondary prop. The most important thing is to keep this distance. If I step in, you got to step back. You got to take 2 or 3 steps back if necessary. You got to be ready to run. I'm charging in, you got to be charging out, okay? The bag is just there just in case the knife makes it a little too close, then you take it on the bag rather than yourself. That's why the bag is there, but the main idea is to keep this distance, because it doesn't matter if it's a stick or a bag or a knife. The moment you also step in or you hold your ground, this is what's going to happen. Now you are in the position where it's going to turn into this, an exchange. Okay. Now in Filipino martial arts, we have tons and tons and tons of drills, partner drills at this range right here. And this range in real life turns into this, where you're both going to get stabbed, cut tremendously. So what I did was I got this partner drill, this kind of partner drill, and I changed it into this partner drill. Okay, so that's what I did. The distance factor is huge. It's all about the distance. And I've said to you guys, if you do here, this is knife boxing, knife versus knife. You both are boxing, throwing punches, bladed punches at each other. Okay, this is not what we want. What we want is this. And I said to you guys that knife fencing is better. Look at the distance. Because they got swords, they create more of a distance than this, because the sword is longer than the bag or the knife. So they're creating this kind of distance. But the only thing which you guys got to understand here is that even if you have a weapon that has reach, once again, if you don't use the reach property, the reach advantage properly, you end up right here, where you're going to get jammed, and it's going to turn into, once again, this. And this is what we want to avoid. So even though you both have swords, you have a reach advantage, it can easily turn into this right here, where now, to me, this is no different than this. Okay, what this picture is showing is that they're showing, hey, if you know what you're doing with skill, with technique, even though it's supposed to turn into this where you both die, you're able to make this happen. This is very difficult. And that's why they're showing it to you, going, look, this is amazing. This is awesome, because this is not supposed to happen. It's very, very difficult. But with proper training, if you know what you're doing, the other guy doesn't know what you're doing, you might be able to pull this off, is what they're showing you. It's very, very difficult. So this means you are risking this. Okay? You're risking this. So even though the person in the left scored, right? They killed the person in the right. Look at how close that the weapon of the person in the right is to the person in the left, the winner. Look at how close the weapon is. That is very close. That's too close to me, if you ask me. So, if you're going to do this, you better be super confident in your abilities. You better be, very, very well trained, and know for certain that you're way more trained than the other guy. Even then, it could still be very, very difficult to pull this off, is the truth. Okay, and here, let me show you, even super skilled guys, boom. And when you see the fencing sword curved like that, when it bends like that, that's supposed to show that this would have been a fatal, if not a powerful enough stab that it would have penetrated through if they were using an actual sword. So that's what that curvature means. And you can see they would have both died, right? So this, once again, is no different to me than this. Okay, and this is what we want to avoid. How do you avoid it? You have to be here, okay, or you have to be here. To me, this photo and this one is the same. You want to keep that distance because the moment you come in, it's this. Now you're both in danger. It's this. Now you're both in danger, or in this case, you're both done, right? So it's all about the distance, if I could explain that to you guys. So this right here, to me, I know you might be going, well, Wmpyr, you're saying this is wrong and you developed this. Why do people still train in this? Look, I'm not saying I'm right and they're wrong. All I'm saying is I got this right here, the traditional this, and I tried to make it work for me, and it turned into this. Okay, it turned into that. The other stuff from that you could, there's lots of things that you could extract from this, evolve from it, and make it work for you. What worked for me was this, okay? I believe that the other lessons that are being taught here is this one right here, where it's very, very risky, but you might be able to pull this kind of thing off. Okay, these are some of the things that are being taught here. It's a split-second thing, and they go, you might be able to get the advantage. But in the context of today, the way we learn this partner drill, we're not taught those things. We're not taught how risky it is, how dangerous it is. Most of us don't even know what it's like to be in a knife fight or a sword fight. We have no idea, or even a fist fight. A lot of people don't know. So if you don't even know that, how are you supposed to turn it into this, where you almost could have died, but you took the other guy out? That is an immense skill that we're talking about here. So before we could even get to this level, I think there are some priorities we need to work on first, which to me is this. We need to work on just this here. Forget about going in and finishing the guy. No, just surviving this at this range. And that is what I'm teaching you guys. That's what I believe in. So I hope that makes sense. That's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.